welcome back to my channel. Good evening, vlogsters. Good morning if you're watching this in the morning. It is very late at night, and grab your water. It's about 11:45, so you're watching this about 8 hours after I finished recording it. Hydrate, please. I've already taken my night meds, and I hope I don't get loopy on you. But there's a couple of things we needed to talk about. First, I would like to apologize for getting my video out late this morning. I don't know. I think I just fell asleep on the editing process last night. Excuse me. I think I just fell asleep on the editing process last night. And I guess I got it up like 10:30, 10:40. Things are really, we're dealing with a lot right now. If you've been here for a while, you know that Mom had an issue the other day. We're resolving it. It's taking quite a bit of effort on our part between Jim and I and her friend. We are doing the very best we can to get her better as quickly as possible. So we're working like a team, a well-oiled machine. I will keep you updated as we know what's going on. And she also requested that I keep most of it private. So that's why I'm not trying to be cryptic. She requested that I keep it private. I know Jim has shared some, but she asked me to keep it as private as possible, and that's where I will obey her request. But it is affecting me and Jim, especially Jim. It is really reminding me that the reason that we all live together was to be prepared for days like this, and the fact that I am really sick. Excuse my language, cover your ears if you don't like cursing, but it fucking sucks. It sucks so bad. I'm dealing with it. I am dealing with it the best that I can. I am trying to support my husband the best way I can. Trying to work as a team, trying to keep his mental health his mental health as healthy as possible, if that makes any sense. I am relying more on my home health aide than I have in all the time that she's been here, because I was trying to keep my independence as much as I can up to a certain point, and now that I am using all of my extra energy to care for the things that that Jimmy needs me to help him with, I'm relying on her more to help me with the things that I was just recently independent with. I've talked about spoon theory or energy level, battery level. With cancer, there's no rhyme or reason. It just comes and goes. You decide, your body decides if it wants to be healthy today, if it wants to be energetic tomorrow. Like this morning, I cleaned up, I put away all the Christmas blankets. It's sans one. I got a new one from Sharon, and I have it in here, and we actually have been using it because it's been really cold the last few nights, and it's just an extra throw. But I have to wash it because the other ones all went through the wash. I did that. I swept my whole area. I was trying to find my pop socket. I know it's under my couch somewhere because I swept the whole area today and I couldn't find it. There is one possibility that it could be underneath the second half of the table now that I just realized that, but I looked every place I could reach. Jim could really use your prayers and support more now than ever. I know that you guys have been praying for him and showing him support this whole time that he's been taking care of me. But he has his hands plenty full right now. So I'll ask you please to extend him your love and your courtesy and your support, prayers, wishes, well wishes, all the things. So a side note, or a much lighter, more positive, or whatever I want to say, affirming note, is you're watching this on St. Bridget's Day, on Bridget Day, on Embolic, no, didn't say that right, Embulk, that's how you say it, February 1st. February 1st, this is also my nephew Joseph's birthday. He would have been 31 today. I miss him. I know my sister does. I'll be hopefully talking to her later. But as far as the in bulk and St. Bridget's Day, it is that time to prep your house for spring. Get out with the old and in with the new. Begin, you know, kind of like a declutter, get ready for spring. Like, I'm guessing when you were a farmer in Ireland, which is kind of like where it started, it was the time of year where you like went through your old canning and jarring and meat supplies and salting and whatever it was that they had back in the day, grain storage, and see, you know, finish up, start preparing for the end of the year, for the end of the season. Maybe it's time to do seedlings if you're that kind of farmer, you know. Not really 100% sure of all of its roots. I just know of its traditions. I'm hoping to find out more today to share with you later, because I have a couple of articles that I was going to read. However, I've been really busy. I've been a little busy, so I apologize for not having all the information. The other thing I wanted to share with you that is a little bit of a sort of pagan, I don't know if witchcraft is the right word, because I'm not exactly sure where it originated, but cinnamon is associated with good fortune. And if you stand in the first of every month, if you stand in the front door of your house and blow cinnamon into your house, not only does cinnamon keep away ants, but it's supposed to help bring money into your house. Oddly enough, we have yet to do this, but I'm hoping we can remember to do it tomorrow. So if you would like to know, you just stand at your front door with a handful of cinnamon. Doesn't have to be too much, teaspoon to a tablespoon. Just, you know, pray to whatever God you pray to. Jesus, help me, you know, bring money into my house with your, you know, prayers and wishes. The funny thing is, as I was talking to a friend tonight on email about, you know, how long we've been practicing these practices. And in my attempt to answer her, I did realize that, oh my goodness. I said, my whole life. Now, I know Jim has been exploring naturopathy is the way I'm going to say it.
Homeopathy.
What?
Homeopathy.
No, this is more like naturopathy. Homeopathy is more specific. This is like, you know, since you were exploring Native American heritage sort of thing, so he was really into like this these books by Mary Summer Rain, which taught him all kinds of like things about his spirit animals and about natural healing properties of plants and animals and all these things, earth and dirt and minerals. And I started to realize that, oh my goodness, has it been longer than for me. So my mom grew up very, very poor. I've mentioned this so many times. And all they had back then was natural. You know, Vicks for everything, castor oil for everything else. Or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, it was really just all natural stuff, because first of all, it was the 40s and 50s, and they didn't really have a ton of variety of medication. And for those that they did have tons of varieties of medication, it wasn't stuff that was accessible to really poor people. So it was a lot of like tea and ginger ale and ginger for your upset stomach, or, you know, obviously crackers, bread, those types of things, but like bananas and fruit. Excuse me?
7-Up.
Jim said 7-Up, but that's his family, and I'm talking about mine for a second. So my mom really did grow up like with that same sort of like, we didn't have a choice. My father's family, however, my father's mother was Polish. My father's father was Cypriot, Greek Cypriot. And they also did that same sort of thing. Like if my father's mother was Polish, and they were very superstitious, which was like throwing the salt over your shoulder, don't, you know, black cats had a thing, broken glass had a thing. Just, I want to say there were superstitions, but if you are looking into like what witchcraft or, you know, holistic things or earth sciences and those type of things, you will see that that stuff has a basis in, you know, some of it's superstition, the black cat thing. Some of it is a basis in, you know, reality, breaking the mirror, you know, gives you bad luck, or throwing the salt over your shoulder, garlic for protection, olive oil. Olive oil is natural. My grandfather was like garlic and olive oil, vinegars, all that stuff. And then as my father got older, my father really delved into it. Really around the 80s, he had a vinegar and herbs book. He had naturopathy medicine books. And the thing was, at the time, is he just wanted to learn, because my dad did not like doctors. So anything that could keep him out of the doctor's office. He vitamins up the wazoo. He would see like, oh, saw palmetto was really good. He heard, you know, glucosamine, chondroitin, all these things, these natural remedies. But, you know, he had really low cholesterol because he was a garlic and olive oil kind of guy, and oatmeal, and, you know, like all the things that we know now that you're supposed to be eating. Fish, lots of fish. And then I realized as I'm telling the story that I think I've mentioned this before, but Catholicism has a lot in common with witchcraft. And I think that the negative connotation of the word witchcraft is really what the problem is. I wish they were like the pagan arts or whatever, like some other holistic medication. If you have ever been to a Catholic church, whether you're Catholic or not, you know about the ritual. How you sit, how you stand, how you pray, how you sing, how you greet each other, how you grateful for each other, how you receive communion, how you go up to receive communion. Who can go up? Like everything is ritual. It's very ritualistic. Even when you get married, you know, like all those kinds of things. You have to go to pre-Cana, and there's all these rituals and these practices. And is there not holy water, like anointed water, anointed oil? That's really what all of this is. Like, you know, when you start studying like, you know, like about moon water and ionized water or sun water, and then you realize, well, yeah, because the moon water and the sun water are affected, the moon affects the tides and affects when water is pulled into the earth. Like all of these things really do have some scientific basis. But as far as being a Catholic is concerned, you know, we do fragranced oils. You're anointed with oil at baptism, at at your confirmation, baptism, confirmation, matrimony if you choose to. I think normally always. Basically, I think all the sacraments. I don't remember being anointed at communion, but that's just because that was 1,000 years ago. Last rites, anointing of the sick, all of those have anointing oils, and the different oils in there, or their same oil, depends on exactly where you go to church, which Catholic church you belong to, or if they can afford the variety of oils. And they're just like, you know, essential oils in an oil carrier, in a neutral carrier. And that's what we teach and talk about incense. Have you not been to a Catholic funeral ever? Have you not heard of the Christian gold, frankincense, and myrrh? Like, you know, we want to say, oh, there's nothing, you know, oh, what was gold, frankincense, and myrrh? It's a holy mineral and a holy herb and a holy... Frankincense is an oil. Myrrh is an herb. Yes. Okay, I had to think about that. So that is what the practice is based on, those same types of things. So anyway, as I was telling her this in the story, and I started to realize, like, wow, I really guess I've been doing this my whole life. Throwing salt over your shoulder. Again, I kind of joked about the cinnamon, but that was one that we did for a long time in my house, because cinnamon keeps carpenter ants and ants, black ants, carpenter ants, and grease ants from going in your house. And that was something that we suffered with living in the burbs. My dad refused to pave my driveway / yard, because if he wanted a paved driveway, he would have stayed in Queens. His words, not mine. So we did have like a big yard with, I mean, you know, it wasn't 17 acres, but we did have a big yard with all kinds of critters, worms and that, you know, like they were out there. We were playing with them. So eventually they'd come in your house, because that's what they do. So yeah, you could get an exterminator. Every once in a while we would do like the Roundup. I know Roundup's not good for you. What's the other one you used to do, Jimmy, that goes around the house? Not Roundup, but the other one, the blue one. Raid? Is it a Raid product? Right, like the blue container that we have that we refill outside. We have it here too.
I think it was Raid.
Yeah, it's like a Raid. Basically, you put a barrier around your house and it keeps the bugs from coming in. But, you know, it's one of those things people are like, oh, your house is this, you've got bugs. Well, you don't know you have bugs until you have bugs. Bugs can get in your house, but, you know, anywhere. If you live on the earth, you know, it's like, but yeah, I mean, but we didn't, you know, we just did what we did. We just did what we did. We did what we could do. My father's father was, like I said, a Greek Cypriot. He was, I believe, part of the Greek Orthodox Church when he moved to the United States. So I have a friend who's Greek, who the Greek church was down the block from my house. And they would always do like their parade. I think it was Easter, right, Jimmy? The Easter parade? Or the feast? I don't know. I think it was the Easter parade. And she would always come in with the candle, and they would do is they burn the soot. Kind of like how you get ashes on Ash Wednesday. They'd burn the soot cross in your doorway. And I'm like, she's been doing that every year for like how many years? My father was alive and she was old enough, type of thing. And I'm like, well, if that's not smoke, like, you know, it's just so many things. Did you know cigarette ash is a really good silver polish? I didn't. My father taught me that. I realized the other day that I have a lot of useless, but it's totally useful knowledge in my head that I'm not sure that people don't know. I just want to sit down and just be like, hey, did you guys know that cigarette ash polishes silver? Hey, did you know that Murphy's oil soap is really good for cleaning wood, but try to dilute it if you can? Hey, did you know that Old English scratch cover is really good for refreshing furniture? Hey, did you know? Hey, did you know that if you plant your bulbs in November, there's a good chance they'll just grow without any help from you? It's just those things you just don't know. You know, you just don't know. People don't know. That's the thing. You don't know that people don't know these things until you ask, you know. Gosh. Do you know that the home key on a computer when you're doing Microsoft Office takes you back to the front line? The front of the line? And the end key takes you to the end of the line? That was something that I learned from one of my individuals at AHRC. They taught me something. And from that moment on, I realized I was not the smartest person in the room. Now, I know that from my older brothers and sisters. I never felt like I was the smartest person in the room with them. And my brother, once he graduated high school, or actually when I was going to high school, I realized that he's way smarter than I am. He knows way more about certain things than I do. But it wasn't until that moment and all the time I was teaching did I realize that, hey, you always got something to learn. My father used to say, you're never too old to learn. And that's one thing you can do every day till you die, is learn something new. And he was right. He was absolutely 100% correct. I think that that's good for now because it is after midnight. My watch just vibrated that it's after midnight. It's 12:08 and 12:03. I take that back. And it is February 1st, so happy in bulk. St. Bridget's Day in bulk, yeah. St. Bridget's Day, Goddess Bridget, all these things. So enjoy. I hope you guys continue to just pray for us, pray for Mom, pray for Jim. He could really use it. Obviously, if you want to pray for me, that's entirely up to you, but I will accept every bit of prayer that you guys send my way. Yeah, I do. And I love you. It's really, really important that you hear how much I love you because, oh, days like today, I'm just like, can't tell people enough that I love them. And by the way, my shirt is inside out and I know it. I'm just letting you know in case anybody mentions it. Okay? Listen, if nobody's told you today, always come by and hear how much I love you because I love you guys very much. And as always, you guys take care. God bless. And we'll see you next time. Bye. Meow.